Excited to have Dr. Edgar Rangel here from Mexico's National Hydrocarbons Commission. Welcome to La Jolla and the 21st Annual La Jolla Energy Conference.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
Well, you are a commissioner at the CNH, as it's in English, and that's a product of the 2008 energy reform. Tell me or tell all of us here in La Jolla a little bit about what the CNH is, what it was created to do, and what you do specifically.
Right. So, as you mentioned, it comes from what we call the energy or the PEMEX reform of the bill was approved in November 2008. And so it's a package of laws, and the law of the National Hydrocarbon Commission establishes a new regulatory agency for the upstream activities in Mexico. We are 5 commissioners, so and 1 commissioner president. We were appointed in a staggered way, like 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, and 1 year term.
Sure.
The idea is I would say 2 main activities. Number 1, in the definition and implementation of the hydrocarbon policy to help the Ministry of Energy defining and establishing the hydrocarbon policy. And the other side is the typical regulatory activities, like oversight activities, technically sanctioned projects, E&P projects, the reserves. Now the reserves of the country is an attribution of the Commission, gas flaring, regulator like deep water activities, optimizing recovery. It's in the mandate of the Commission to guarantee that the projects are developed under best practices, best international practices. That in general terms, those are the activities of the Commission.
It's often, I think, referred to as a watchdog, and I guess the implication there is a watchdog of PEMEX, because you say you were there to oversight the upstream. Well, in Mexico, that's PEMEX,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is correct.
So one of the things, and we just had your presentation and discussion this afternoon, which was great, and one of the things that came up was the issue of reserves, and you made a very, very strong case for a tremendous bounty in terms of oil in the ground in Mexico. Correct. And some of the opportunities for enhanced recovery and how to get these. There was a question, I want to sort of repeat it so you can share it here, about the net importer and what's happening with Mexico perhaps becoming a net importer. And the question was sort of, is Mexico running out of oil, or is it running out of time to leverage this tremendous reserves that you talked about? So maybe if you could take both of those.
Correct. What I was mentioning during my presentation is what we call the remaining resources, remaining oil, are very large. So all the deposits that we have discovered and we have been developing for decades have a small recovery factor. Mm-hmm. So that means you have a large amount of oil left on the ground, but these are like deposits with low geological risk because you don't have to discover them, you already know them. You can implement different technologies, like improved oil recovery technologies to increase the recovery factor, and therefore you will have that oil. What is the problem? That we don't, what I was saying is we don't have the execution capabilities to bring that oil to the surface. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we need to work on really hard to increase PEMEX's capabilities and also to try to develop new capabilities for the country, right? So one of the tools that we have after the reform is this integrated contracts.
Yeah,
so you
talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
PEMEX can work in this new, according to the new law, PEMEX can define contract models. Mm-hmm. for different projects, say Chicontepec, or say deep waters, or this southern north region that we have been discussing. And the idea is like PEMEX, with a third party, develop these fields. It could be for exploration, on exploration and production. And through that, the different areas can be assigned for a third party, and this third party can even operate the field, to perform the activities.
The contracts so far have been specifically focused on mature fields, though.
It is correct.
Yeah. And so I think one of the questions I want to be interested for your thoughts on is, where does this go from mature fields? Even with some of the gains in production, it's still fairly minimal in terms of where PEMEX production. What about deep water?
It is correct. Let me just clarify in terms of the mature fields. The tool of the contract model seems to be right. We, as a country, assigned 3 areas in the southern region. If you want to see that reflected as reserves or production, you need to be more aggressive, right? Like you can always optimize your contract model. You can improve it all the time, but you also have to be to understand that if you want the reserves or production that these new areas that will bring into the country, you need to be more aggressive, like because you want to see that reserves incrementing. Now, in terms of deep waters, you need a special model for the deep waters, and that one, Pemex has been working on that contract. They seem to be getting the right one, the one that the Ministry of Energy, the Commission, different actors feel comfortable with. And at the end, I'm confident that they will come up with a contract model that will be interesting for third parties, and therefore they can assign areas also in the deep waters of Mexico.
So there will be an evolution with the integrated service contract model for deep water.
It is correct. It is correct. Yeah, and that's the idea. That is the current track. You also have to take into consideration that very soon we're going to have elections in Mexico. When you have a new administration, it's good in the sense that you can bring recommendations for them to like consider if this is the pace you want to go at. Like is the right pace, or you want to reconsider other alternatives. Right?
Absolutely. Well, it's coming. That election is coming up fast, July 1st, right?
Yes.
So we'll end the interview with your prognostication. Who's going to win the election? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You don't have. No. You're the Hydrocarbons Commission. You don't have to answer politically loaded questions like that. Well, Edgar, we really appreciate having you here. Your presentation was excellent. You're a great spokesperson for Mexico, and continued good wishes and success with the Hydrocarbons Commission. Thank you for joining us.
I want to thank you for the invitation. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Edgar.
Thank you, Jeremy.